Who are you creating for? Are you creating with other creatives in mind? If in the back of your head, you're thinking about other artists or other friends or other designers or other creative people, and that's your standard and gauge for why you're creating art or how you're creating your art, you're gonna be left very frustrated and disheartened, because creating for creatives is oftentimes very counterintuitive and counterproductive to sharing your story and your art with the world. If your art exists simply to appeal to other artists and other creatives, it's very likely you're gonna go over the average person's head. You're gonna narrow your crowd and make it smaller to an audience that's probably gonna be way more critical with you than normal people that maybe need to hear your story or need to experience what it is that you do. So don't create for other creatives. Create for people. Create for people that share a similar worldview, have similar aesthetic value, have similar passions, have similar desires to experience things in the same way that you're telling your story. And as you're creating, consider a few things. In my experience, passion trumps technique. If someone is really passionate in the way they're showing and executing their music or their art or their design, and they bleed their art out, that to me oftentimes trumps technique and rule keeping. One of my favorite rappers is Tupac. Now, Tupac wasn't the most technically skilled rapper. He didn't do amazing punchlines and crazy soliloquies and the different techniques and metaphors. He was just extremely passionate, and he left such a huge mark on the world. And there were contemporaries of his age like Notorious B.I.G., like Jay-Z, like Andre 3000, Outkast, that were technically better lyricists and all went on to do amazing things, but there's this intangible thing that Tupac had in the way he spoke to people that really connected with people on an emotional level. So oftentimes, technique isn't as important as passion. If you're passionate and you're sharing your emotion through your music or your art or your designs, that will often give you an edge over the person that's extremely technical, but maybe they lack some of that passion that you can exhibit, and that gives you an edge. Another thing to consider is that your authentic story is oftentimes going to trump artificial hype. In hip hop music in particular, there's a lot of self-actualization, and there's a lot of fake it until you make it, and act like you're famous, and act like you're rich, and act like you have money, and live the image, right? Put on fake jewelry, put on designer clothes, be irresponsible with your finances, and that can lead you down the wrong road, and you could be in a really bad spot financially because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you're trying to look like you're already on, and maybe you're not. And the people who actually just authentically tell their story, the guy who got signed to Rick Ross because he was a homeless man on the street and he rapped for him, and Rick Ross heard him rap and signed him and helped him put out his mixtape, and now his career is starting to bubble and take off. Those types of stories will oftentimes go further than someone that's trying to build up artificial hype and pay to get their stuff placed on certain blogs and pay to get certain looks in the industry. The real you is always going to go deeper and go farther than an artificial version of you, than a fake version of you, than a convoluted version of you. So figure out who you are and exhibit that and share that story, because the reality is there's probably people out there like you that need your story and need what it is you have to say, and it will encourage them, it will empower them, and it will help them get through whatever their struggles are. So don't overthink and don't downplay your own value as a creative and your own story. If you keep doing that and you keep overthinking it, you know, I'm rapping for my friends who are really good rappers. Well, your friends that are really good rappers may not be in touch with their story, or they may not have much of a story. Or your friends that are really good designers don't always get what it is that you're trying to execute and who you're trying to speak to. One of the greatest things that I found in communication, and that's ultimately what art is, isn't it? It's communication. It's sharing our heart, sharing our values, sharing and expressing the things that matter to us. And one of the things I've always heard and I've always loved as a communicator is KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Sometimes we overcomplicate it and we overthink it, and we do things that actually get in the way of us releasing and sharing that thing with the world. Whether we're creating for creatives and we're trying to do 150% without slowing down enough and saying, hey, let me just take my time on this, but not overdo it. You get too creative, you get too ambitious in the technical side without remembering that story is probably more important than technique. Consider simplicity, consider minimalism, consider story, consider aesthetic, and consider what it is that you have to say. What is your story? What makes your story unique? And how can you communicate it in a unique way? So if you found this video valuable, make sure you like it, subscribe below. I see some of you guys are watching and you're not subscribed. A lot of you guys are watching regularly, but you're not subscribed. So I need y'all to subscribe, share this video. There's probably someone in your social circle that needs this information. Maybe they're overthinking it, and if they were just to kind of tone it down a little bit and relax and not think about other creatives, they could actually build something that people need to hear. So leave me a comment. Is this something you struggle with, creating for other creatives? Let me know any other ideas you guys would like me to cover, and thank you so much for watching this.